Oh God, why I got to report on this story? But it needs to be out there. It needs to be out there. This is Goddess Raven, and this is Sipping It Up with Goddess Raven. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you can get my next video. Now let's get into this. Jessica Krug. Okay, she pretended to be, when you hear this story and everything in it, you'll be like, what the F? So race faker Jessica Krug was applauded at a university conference when she hailed the murder of a 15-year-old boy hacked to death outside a New York bodega as a revolutionary moment because he wanted to be a cop. Junior Guzman Felix was chased through the Bronx and butchered with machetes by a Dominican street gang who mistook him for someone else in a notorious 2018 killing. But speaking on a Columbia University panel, Krug dismissed Guzman, a member of the NYPD Explorers Youth Program, as a collaborator who worked against his own community and was targeted because snitches get stitches. Oh yeah, this is what she says. It is so much more difficult to understand what kind of freedom we could achieve by being willing to confront those who are working against the interests of the community, she says, going unchallenged as she appeared to endorse the grisly murder. Krug is 38 years old, a white Jewish woman from Kansas City, Missouri, who admitted last week that she had pretended to be black for decades while becoming a prominent opponent of systematic racism and a professor of African studies at George Washington University. She fooled everybody. Is this blackfishing at its highest? Yes. This is why I do not support anybody who does blackfishing. Okay? It's even becoming now a thing in the mukbang community that people are doing blackfishing. So let's keep going into this. How many people are familiar with Lisandro Guzman Felix, a 15-year-old who was murdered in the Bronx last year? She said in a 2019 video clip revealed by media outlets. So if you're in New York, you probably heard a lot about this. And the narrative around is that he was an innocent kid who was mistaken for a bad kid. He was the kid who was hacked apart with machetes in front of a bodega in the Bronx. The ideal is that he was mistaken for someone else by the gang, right? Who come out of Rikers Island jail, as most of the radical politics of New York City has done for many, many years. But the part of the story that gets emphasized is in different ways is that he was an explorer, right? Which is a program that the NYPD has to bring in youth in to eventually work for them and become cops, right? Krug compared the attack to neck lacing, the gruesome execution method used to punish black police informants in the apartheid era of South Africa. This woman is crazy. Where a rubber tire filled with fuel would be placed around someone's neck or chest and set ablaze. Is this really... did they really listen to her ramble on like that in front of these people? When I think about this politics of silence that I'm talking about in the archives, and about how silence can be a really radical presence historically, I think it's a radical presence today when people talk about snitches get stitches, or when we think about a historic history of anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa and neck lacing, she goes on. That kind of violence against people who are collaborating or working against their community, we have to consider a radical moment in 2018 in which people are using machetes to hack apart a 15-year-old who's working with the police. The way the story about his innocence and the inherent violence about the people who hacked him apart become the narrative we tell about how the loss of innocence is the story we mourn, and it's so much more difficult to understand what kind of freedom could we achieve by being willing to confront those within the community who are working against the interests of the community as a whole at the end of the machete. So the clip revealed by our outlet ends before anyone has a chance to ask questions, but as she wraps her remarks, Krug receives I guess, a amazing round of applause. People are applauding her. She was listed as a speaker at a April 2019 event hosted by the college Black Studies Department to discuss social and activism now taking shape across Africa diaspora. What the there is problems throughout this, right? Let me just say there's massive amounts of problems with this. First of all, you have a woman who is not blackfishing. So that means she probably went to school. The schools that she went to and the way she got her education was paid pretending to be black. Okay? So she needs to pay that money back. Then you got your job based on being black. You're not. That's another thing. You've lied. You're a known liar. You're a known pretender. You're blackfishing. You've darkened up your skin. You pretend to be something that you're not to gain, to seek money and gain. That's another problem with you right there. So right there, I can't trust jack crap you say. And number two, you should not be speaking about things in our race, in the black community or Latino community, brown community, any community other than your own community that you are supposed to be in. That's the only thing you could comment on. But for any college or any place to have you as a speaker to talk about black situations is dead wrong. And for you to actually say that this boy was evil and actually bad for his community because he wanted to be a cop. Are you nuts? You're condemning the killing of a child? Are we serious? Is this what the hell is going on nowadays? Did we actually condone the killing of a child because he wanted to be a cop and he was involved in a community-based youth program involving police? So now he's labeled as a snitch? Who the hell are you to label anybody as a goddamn snitch? If anything, you need to be labeled as a effing fraud. You need your credentials stripped because you pretended to be something you're not. Look, we need a new rule. We need to stop letting anybody and everybody in. We need to check people's credentials. I don't give a damn. We need to start doing DNA tests. This got to stop. The blackfishing, the pretending to be something they ain't, to use our funds and our college funds and everything else needs to stop. Okay? You don't like us. Stop using our shit. Damn. Ooh. I finally take a sip and look what happened. The damn sip almost killed me. I'm just saying, like, I really cannot believe that she said this. I just can't. You know, like, last week, Krug, a self-styled, unrepentant, and unreformed child of the hood, grew up in a middle-class white family, attended private schools before breaking off contact with her relations after entering academia. A family source revealed that the identity I just can't. We need to do better. When you have people condemning a 15-year-old child who being hacked, and labeling this 15-year-old child as a snitch, where, what was he snitching? What was he snitching on? What proof do you have? So just the fact that he was in this program, labeling him as a snitch? Who the F are you to label anybody as anything? I just think, we gotta do better. We gotta stop letting people comment and say whatever the hell they want to say, and they make no sense. This is ridiculous. She makes 0 sense and should be the last person commenting on any flipping thing. You need to go and get yourself some psychiatry help, some therapy to figure out why you wanted to pretend to be something and steal education and steal a job from somebody else, pretending to be black. Girl, bye. You canceled. Jessica Krug, you canceled. Goodbye. Y'all leave me some comments below and tell me what y'all think about this, because this is crazy. Alright? Bye.